Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Break the Apocalypse podcast, Thanksgiving Weekend Edition 2021. This is your weekly look at the hellscape that we find ourselves living in forevermore, even on a holiday. Shaheen, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, sir. Everybody else out there, you know.
It's our second Thanksgiving edition holiday. It's our second Thanksgiving show in hell.
Is it really? Did we do
Yeah,
one last year?
yeah, I'm sure we did.
I was high last year, so I don't
B
remember.
show. This is our second Thanksgiving episode,
Gobble gobble, motherfuckers.
and a gobble to you, you gobbledygooker. Before you guys get all turkey on us, before you start taking the tryptophan or whatever the hell's in that turkey and just start passing out on us, just a little early programming note to those of you joining us for the first time. Thank you. Hopefully you had a lovely holiday weekend and a lovely Thanksgiving for those of us in the States. For everyone else, I hope you just had a nice Thursday and a good weekend. But you don't get the full show. You don't get the full program. The only way to get the full show is by going to patreon.com/breaktheapp. $5. $5 gets you countless hours at this point. There's just so many hours of bonus material, bonus episodes featuring Q&A episodes, the second of which we just recorded. We do 2 a month, and they're made up exclusively of Patreon members. People like Johnny Florida, and Bruno Camano, and Victor Guzman, and JR, and Charlie, and John Dunn, and Digital Lizard, and Mike Brown, and Jay, and Brandon McIntyre, and Carrie Goldberg, and Sal Phoenix, and Cockboy, and Gary Thorpe. Let's not forget about Vic Condor, John Hediford, Justin Lugware, Anthony Allison, and Terrell Thibodeau, Leonard Van Duyn, or Cushion Pusher, or MJW Games, for that matter. We also have Larry Trailer, Michael, Randy Shepard, Joe Punches, Dirk, Jamie Petty Cook, the podcast legend himself, Don Tony, is with us. Jarrett Maloney, Walter Villani, Darren Gatt, Cassette Classics 86. We got our good friend Tyler Simpson is here. Austin Red. Lou and Houston is here. Joseph Glasgow, Steve Shaw, Stephen Teasdale, Marquise Johns. My pal Ruben is here. Anthony Jeter, Joe, Stello Eccles. My good buddy Ronald Anderson is here. Adam Bergone, Emmanuel, the lovely Amy Foley, Jeff and Lippity Lip 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 Turkey Arms Lipman is with us. JB Buff Bell, Jerk Braxton is here. My good friend Kevin Mathurin is with us. Michael Smith, Rivers Johansson, who big timed me this weekend. Jude, Matt, John Bernstein, Cloudy, Joseph Morrow, Ralph Ramirez, my good friend Willie Thompson, Chris Matthews, Cherry Jesus, Roxy Mike, J Reb 92 is with us. And then we have Texas Sal, Mark Gordon, The Purple Haze, Danny Douglas, Paul Stockwell, John Garcia, Fatty316, Richard Todd, James Gruesome, Daniel Clark, Deliverance, the adorable John Krauser, Christopher Kane, and the super, super cutie Drew Yari. Let's get our plugs. We give our plugs early in the podcast. People like Deathmatch Outlaws, the Drew Yari Show, which is on Patreon, Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube. We got our good friends on the Down Under Thundercast, wrestling icon himself in the podcast world, Mr. Don Tony. Necromaniacs, the fabulous Necromaniacs podcast, Inhuman Experience podcast, Ringsiders Wrestling on YouTube. I was just on the show. Modrug City Machine Guns, the Garden of Doom is with us. Off the Mat, the Old Guy Metal Cast. We have funkbetty.com. Do some holiday shopping online. Black Friday, funkbetty.com. You should be checking out Funk Betty's fall collection on Black Friday, this Friday. Oh, wow, you're getting the show on Friday, aren't you? Yeah, okay, so it's on, they're getting the show on Friday. Right? Don't they get
the free one will go Friday probably, but
yeah, let's make sure the free one's on Friday. Yeah, Patreon will get it early. MJW Games, Cherry Jesus is on YouTube, Red River Podcast, the band Playing Dead. They just played Irving Plaza, one of the best venues in New York. They just played my good friend Sam. Bayou Geeks, that's our good friend Fratty316. The High Mox Podcast. Then we got the Midnight Mass Creature Cast. The Weekly Detour with Anthony Alston and Teddy. That's a new show you should be checking out. And, of course, our friend Bobby Anthem. We're going to say what's up to him. Planet Mondo on YouTube and Facebook groups. And we have Halloween 365 on YouTube. And my band Synthetic 16. Give the gift of music this year by going to Apple, Spotify, or Bandcamp and downloading my album Too Far Along. And spell out that 16 for Synthetic 16. Give the gift of song. We're recording this a little early. I'm a little confused. We never usually record this early in the week, but it is a holiday weekend. And I also want to bring up, I want to thank my friends at Ringsiders Wrestling. I just recorded with them. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
It was yesterday. We did a little Survivor Series recap, which I watched, which was pretty terrible. But the recap is great, and Ringsiders Wrestling is great, but the Survivor Series isn't that great. But you should be checking that out. And also, I want to mention my good friend Jess, the Buckeye. There, she seems to be recovering. She seems to be doing a lot better. So shout out to Jess, our friend Jess there, Jess the Buckeye. And boy, it's Thanksgiving, guys. Thanksgiving. Here's a funny fact. A lot of people don't know this, but only Americans celebrate Thanksgiving. But they do have Black Friday is something in other countries. Did you guys know that, like in the UK, that Black Friday is a thing?
Yeah, I have family all across Europe, so they go hard on Black Friday,
Mm.
which is weird. You're right, because Black Friday is usually associated with Thanksgiving and all that.
Yeah.
And they do it up over there in Europe. I think Canada too. Canada, same thing.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Yeah, because that Thanksgiving I think happened already.
You think that's like it's the same thing in like Japan and China and shit like that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Bisha,
I have to see.
Bisha, were you aware that Black Friday was like an event in countries that don't celebrate Thanksgiving?
No, I thought it was just like another like icon of American consumerism and that whole nastiness that obsession we have over commercialism.
Yeah, for all we know, we may have stolen Black Friday like we steal everything else. Like did we invent Black Friday?
I don't know.
I would assume so.
It seems like something we would invent. Like did the Americans? Yeah, it was weird. I was talking to the boys across the pond there, except for Rivers because he couldn't be bothered to show up when I was on the show. Somebody always big times me on Ringsiders, but usually it's Jamie. Then it's Callum. They take turns saying like which one of us isn't going to show up when John shows up. But Rivers has always been there every time. And then like Rivers wasn't there, and I was like, now Rivers is big timing me. Rivers is big timing me now. But we had a great little chat there. Love those guys to death. Even Rivers for no showing me. He ghosted me there.
Well, Rivers isn't always on the show. He's kind of like a special guest, and when we come on, he tries to be there, from what I understand.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, but it's still big timing me though.
True. Oh, yeah, because you were going to be there, so why wouldn't he be?
Yeah, because he knew I was going to be there. But yeah, he couldn't make it. But shout out to my boys over there. I love those guys very much. They're such good friends of ours. I think I'm going to come back on in January. I might come back on and do another, But we talked a little bit about some wrestling stuff that was fun. We don't do that often. But if you're not checking out Ringsiders, it's such a great show.
It turns out that Japan actually started doing Black Friday in 2016.
Wow.
Really?
Total thing. Yeah, it's a total thing.
Wow. So so they say like we don't invent anything anymore, but it sounds like we invented that.
In fact, Shaw, according to Wikipedia, the earliest evidence of the phrase Black Friday originated in Philadelphia, dating back to 1961.
You are
wow.
Of course
Wow.
it would be a Philadelphia thing. Fucking stampeding over fucking.
That's amazing. Yeah. That is amazing.
Well,
we're recording this a couple days early. You're hearing this after Thanksgiving. As we're recording this, it's not Thanksgiving yet. It's not Black Friday. It ain't even Wednesday, quite frankly. Whip 'em out Wednesday, or whatever the hell they call the day for, I don't know, online Wednesday. But to everybody celebrating in the States, all the listeners, thank you guys so much. We wish you guys we hope you had a great holiday weekend and a great Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I have some bad news. It's kind of sad. I'm not quite sure how to talk about it, but unfortunately I did not get COVID over the weekend. I was, this is hard because nobody likes to fail. You don't like to fail. And I really, really thought I would be able to get some sort of sickness or something would prevent me from having to partake in a holiday, celebrating with people. And my bags are packed. And I'm going to be celebrating Thanksgiving like a normal person this year. And you know what? I do feel like I failed, guys. Sorry.
all the prayers that we sent, everything.
I mean,
failed.
they talk about the power of prayer, and all I wanted was to get some temporary, potentially deadly disease for 72 hours. And when it didn't happen, I felt like maybe there is no God.
You're floating in and out of your Fauci with that one.
Maybe there is no God. I'm really not actually.
Yeah, you are borderline vouching this one right now.
Well, let me stop you there, because I understand that you had a desire to get the COVID virus or the Delta variant, and that's just a ridiculous thing to say. But yeah, no, I'm gonna be having a real holiday. I'm gonna shave. I'm gonna wash myself. I plan on. Look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna get so fucked up as much as possible for days on end, because I am just not. I'm just not into it, and it's not personal. It's not a thing against anybody. I don't. I'm just not into it. I kind of. I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I don't feel like this was a great year to celebrate anything. Like, it just seems like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna have a nice time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be great, but
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
year has
not.
been wild, man. I
I just
almost
think
got
it's a
killed
weird.
like
I
five
think,
times. Fucking
yeah. I mean,
what are you
like,
celebrating?
I didn't. But not. Well, I'm celebrating not getting COVID, which I guess I'm supposed to be happy about. And again, I didn't really want COVID. I wanted something. But I'm leaving my dogs with a dog sitter for the first time. I have like anxiety about that because I'm really connected to my dogs, and like I just like I'm really into my dogs. Bisha, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm sure you're getting together with a lot of tall white people. Is that like what you guys are doing?
Yeah, pretty much. Just going to my mom's house.
A lot of
Everyone's got
high
a shitload of
fiving,
food.
a lot of eat, a lot of drinking of regional beers.
Yeah, jumping high fives like the white guy shit from the 80s. Yeah, plenty of
Yeah.
that stuff.
Do you guys high five at the table, like cranberries, bruh, like that? You guys do that at the
I'll,
table?
I'll say yes for comedic effect, but no.
Yeah, yeah. Shaheen, what are you blowing up? I mean, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? What are you and your family blowing up? I'm
Other
sorry.
than my
What are you guys doing?
other than my stomach, I don't. My mom usually throws down for Thanksgiving. This year
Mm,
around, she's actually going to a friend's house.
mm,
So I'm doing a friendsgiving. I'm actually going to the Temple area to do a friendsgiving with
okay.
the girl that I almost got killed. So this should be
Yeah, you
fun.
don't want to talk about that on there.
I don't want to get into that.
No, we can't get into that.
No,
No.
but yeah. So I
So
mean,
you're
I don't.
doing
I don't know. I
low
might
key?
stop
You're
by.
doing a low key Thanksgiving?
Yeah. No. I mean, not really. I mean, there's like she has a bunch of friends coming over.
Okay.
Um, it's like a friendsgiving because most of them like they're students and they're away from their family, so they throw their own little
Wow.
Thanksgiving. So
Wow.
she was like, "Hey, you can come over here since your mom's not going to be home. They're going to a friend's house." But ironically enough, I probably should have gone to my mom's friend's house because we have a common friend that's going to be there that would make things less awkward and kind of keep me company. But I didn't know that prior, so I made
Mm.
other plans. But
Bisha, are
yeah,
you hosting Thanksgiving, Bisha? What are you doing?
Hell no. We're
Okay.
going to my mom's house, and she's having a shitload of people over. So
Okay. Yeah.
immediate family type of thing. But, because we're really close. My mom had one sister and was real close with her, and she has 3 kids, and we're all kind of close, almost like we grew up
Mm,
with them like they were our brothers and our sister and shit. So
mm.
probably like the 12 or 20 of us somewhere in that range get together.
Oh wow. I'm gonna be at a mansion in Pennsylvania with like a 13 house, like a mansion with like some giant mansion in Pennsylvania.
oh, that's where you're going.
Yeah,
Where you were asking, oh, you're gonna have a good time, dude. That's
yeah, yeah. No, the weather is going to be good. I mean, I got a lot of nieces and nephews that are really little, and I just bug out with them all day, and I never get like I'm just like a machine with them. Like, as you can imagine, like a guy like me, like that likes entertaining kids and like talks a lot. Like I'm like it's like a party clown to them. Like they go bananas for me. So like we play like cool like stuff, and like we just find like fun things to do. Some of them are really little, like 3, 4, and they're like awesome, and I don't see them that much, so I'm excited to hang out with the kids. But I'm gonna be with my in-laws. My in-laws are pretty rad, actually. My
yeah.
You guys actually met my in-laws. Actually, it's funny that I'm saying that you guys actually met them. But my mother-in-law is turning 70, so we're having this huge thing with everybody. All my wife's sister. My wife has 2 stepsisters. They're gonna be there. Like, it's gonna be pretty nuts, man. Like, we're staying at a great place for a bunch of days with my kids, and uh, but the thing is, like, when you do something like that, it never ends. Like, it's just like it's like entertaining 24 hours, and you know, I'm just gonna drink a lot. I normally I these are days like Thursday and Friday. I would probably, if I was home, I would probably run both days and not eat until like dinner both days. I plan on eating and drinking and doing some other things. Like when I'm not hanging out with kids, as soon as it gets dark out, these kids drop out like 7 o'clock. It's gonna be a fun time. I think it's gonna be fun. But I hate the leaving, the packing. You know what I mean? I hate not having my dogs, and I got to stress about the dogs, and traffic. It's just like it's it's the intangibles. You know what I'm saying? It's like the things that you can't fucking control. Like but I don't know if I talked about this on the air, but I may have mentioned this to you guys in private. So it looks like me and Mrs. Draper are going to be in Dublin in June. And I know we have some fans that I met when I mentioned this in May, but I'm going to be in Limerick and Dublin. Now, I don't know a lot about, I wanted to go to Belfast, but we just couldn't make that work, unfortunately. But the reason why I'm going to Limerick is because we are going to go see the band, my favorite, literally like my second favorite band of all time, The National. I'm going to see The National in Ireland. I'm going to go to Ireland to see The National. So that's pretty crazy. So we're planning that out. I don't know when it is in June. And so that'll be fun. That'll be a fun thing to look forward to. Dude, my kid is going to Italy. I got little Drapes is going to Italy with my in-laws. They're going to Naples and Rome. Yeah, man, it's like the world's moving. Like, it's like I feel like, don't be me. I want COVID to kind of rain down. By the way, my wife's hospital's COVID ward is overwrought. And there's another hospital not far from here where the head of the hospital made a PSA begging people to get vaccinated because they're already at full capacity. So
I got to get my booster, man. I keep forgetting. I got to get my booster.
Yeah, be sure you're getting the booster.
Yeah, probably. I was just talking to someone about that today. I just got to get it fucking done, man.
Yeah, I was going to get it tomorrow. I don't know. Everybody that I'm going to the house with is vaccinated, including the children, which I thought was a little, some of the children are quite young, but even the kids are vaccinated. My niece and nephew gave a whole bunch of people COVID not that long ago. Gave everybody the Delta variant.
Why couldn't it be you?
I know. It is. Sheen. It's just like everything else. It's like
it didn't work out, man.
It just didn't work out. So hopefully everybody has a nice holiday. I also got to have another tooth pulled, which is like for me, like every other month I'm losing a tooth like a fucking crackhead. But I can't really deal with that.
You've been to Kensington recently?
No.
Coming down this way.
No, I haven't. But as we record this, I guess when was the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict? Was that yesterday?
Well, before you say that, I guess the second weekend of December, I'll be in New York. So if anybody wants to, I already know Felix Ortiz. Shout out to him.
I know Felix Ortiz.
Yeah, he's a good man. So I'll be in New York probably twice in December. One time I can't really do much because whatever. But the other time I can link up with people. So if there's shit to do in New York City and you want to link up.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out to the city next week because I'm going to start working. So, and then once I start working, I'm locked in for till I go to Ireland essentially. So it's like this weird thing. It's like we basically, if we're going to do this Ireland trip, we got to book it right in the new year. And then, and that's it. That's all we're just going to work towards that. But I'm like, I kind of like having a little bit of time off, like every now and then when I'm working, like to wait all that time, like 6 months to have no time off even after being off for a while. It's just like, it's like a shock to the system. You know what I mean? So it's like, I won't be able to take any time off, none, zero, so that I could take, a little bit, like a week and a day or two to travel in Ireland. But I'm excited. I hope this works out. I know we have some listeners in Ireland. I've spoken to them. I will be reaching out to you, my friends. I am an Irish person. My wife is a Jew, and she chose this trip because she knows I always wanted to go to Ireland. Although I really did want to go to Belfast, but unfortunately that's not going to work out. So hopefully this works out. It'll be nice. Be sure you got a vacation scheduled in the new year with the family.
Yeah, I think in October we're going to Disney.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it started becoming like an annual tradition when Sophie was smaller. And we missed out the last 2 or 3 years. Like, it's kind of sucked. Like the last 2 or 3 years, she really wanted to be like a princess and dress up and be into all that shit. We couldn't go.
Right.
So now she's older. I don't think she's going to dig it as much. But Brennan's 4, so he's going to be like a kid on crack.
He's going to be all cracked out and shit. He's going to be on that Disney crack. You know, it's crazy. If my wife really asked me what I wanted to do for my 50th birthday this year, I would have said, "Can we go to like Disney or something?" Because I haven't been in a long time, and I want to go to like. But she's just not that person. Like she would be so fucking miserable. You know what I mean? Like, she's just it's just not her thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? To go to Universal or like, I don't know. I mean, I guess if I get a Gumar, I could do that with them. You know what I mean? I can go like, that's a good thing to do with the side piece to go to Disney. I think.
Yeah, there's so many people in. If someone recognizes you, you can just blend in with the crowd and move away. And
Yeah.
Shaheen could hook you up with that. He's his adventures. He knows how to find somebody.
I know. He's working on a one-man show called.
I'm retired from mentioning anything on the show anymore.
Yes, he's retired. Yeah, yeah. So I guess
sloppy, you know?
what. So as we record, when was the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict? Was that yesterday?
I think so. Yeah, Monday.
No, it was Friday.
Okay.
It was Friday. So we did a whole show. I mean, obviously we have to follow up on it because we talked about it. We've been talking about it. The whole world's talking about it, but there's other things that are actually going on in the universe. But to my chagrin, I actually I found out when I was running. And that's funny because I feel like all these things happen when I'm running. Like it doesn't matter what time of the day, but if something weird is happening or crazy, it's when I'm outside running. And I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was be found guilty of something, but truth be told, I didn't follow the trial. I was not. I was more observing it to see how other people were gonna make this their identity, and they did not let me down. Um, Boy, some people have said some outrageously crazy things regarding the trial, but he was found not guilty on all charges, including the weapons charges and the. But I spent some time listening to some podcasts today about it and yesterday, and apparently, like anybody that studied the law of that state, they would have like legal analysts or whatever. Like it's interesting. What was basically happening was people were having panels about this, but they weren't talking about the law. They were just talking about the culture relevancy of it, like as if that this supersedes law. And we've talked about this quite a bit. We're not going to spend all night on it, but first and foremost, Shah, were you surprised with the verdict?
No, I told you last week. I think he's going to get off completely. I said it last week. Yeah. I'm not shocked at all. I totally expected him to walk out clean, and it exactly what I predicted.
Now, were you surprised that they already announced that he's going to be doing Big Brother on CBS Network? He's going to be in the house there.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, the book is coming. He's going to be
I would have said Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, he's going to be at RNA conventions and shit. Like,
yeah. Is he doing Comic-Con? Have we found out? Is he scheduled for Comic-Con?
Next year.
He might be doing Comic-Con.
Unmasked too. Unmasked. You can take.
Oh yeah, do it unmasked.
Yeah.
B-Show, were you surprised with the verdict?
Not at all. The only thing I was surprised at, I'll be honest, I thought because the gun wasn't his, it was provided by somebody else, and like going across state lines, I thought that would be something to be charged with.
Me too.
But from what I heard that was like thrown out early in the trial.
It was because he got that dispensation. It was like some dispensation thing happened. Again, like I don't know the law. I ain't past the bar like Jay-Z says, but like I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I was surprised. What I wasn't surprised about was the unhinged responses from people that they're very invested in this on both sides of these team sports that we seem to play with one another. That didn't surprise me. But really what I wanted to talk about with you guys was the lack of rioting and social unrest and civil unrest. The big story seemed to be nothing happened. Like really nothing happened. There was like a march in Brooklyn that went nowhere, essentially. That looked like it was pretty crowded. I heard of nothing that happened in Wisconsin. I heard of nothing that even happened, like maybe the standard Portland thing, but that's, that was just a typical Friday in Portland. Like, there was nothing in like any major city. Were you guys surprised with the lack of rioting?
I'm going to go ahead and say no to that also. I mean, again, we talked about it last week. It's too cold, man. I really think if this happened in the summertime, you would have the whole city burning down, but it's too cold. I don't even want to walk my dogs right now, dude. It's
me neither.
It's freezing
I
out this
dog
bitch.
today.
It's freezing.
So you think it's strictly a climate issue?
Yes, I really think it's just too cold. I think it's too cold, and people have better shit to do right now. Last year, I think a lot of people also got a lot of aggression out. You know what I mean? By smashing things and burning things, they kind of got that out of their system, so they're good for like another decade.
Yeah.
Give it 10 more years, it'll all come back out again.
Bisho, were you Friday night? Were you anxiously awaiting to hear about riots?
No, and we looked at the demographics of Kenosha. It was like 65% white. So first of
Well,
all,
it wasn't even. But I'm talking about riots in general. Like people were rioting. Would riot. 10,000 miles away. Like
no, and like if you looked outside the courtroom, they were saying, "Oh, there are protesters." After the verdict was read, there was like 4 people there.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, yeah, there's not going to be much going on. And honestly, I think coinciding with COVID and people being pent up and all of this shit and post-Trump, like Shaheen said, I think a lot of people got that shit out of their system. And I think people are so disenfranchised with the system as it is that they just expected this to happen. So there wasn't really any outrage or surprise. It was just like, well, yeah, of course it fucking happened.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that from people. Like, I engaged.
That's what I saw too. Like my whole timeline, any minority was just like, is anybody actually surprised? Like, that's kind of the vibe that I got. Anybody of color or any kind of ethnic background was kind of like, yeah, I saw this coming. If it was me, probably be a little different, but here we
are. Now, the Ahmaud Arbery, I always mispronounce his first name. Ahmaud Arbery trial. They're deliberating now. They might have a verdict tomorrow. Seems unlikely, but by all accounts, that trial seems to be a slam dunk for people that are unfamiliar with that trial. I forget what part of Georgia, but it was rural Georgia. We've seen the videotape. Dude was like jogging, and then somebody thought that he was running from a crime scene, and him and a bunch of hillbillies got some shotguns and jumped in a truck and chased him down. And then he got into a fight with one of the hillbillies. Another hillbilly was videotaping, and then the other hillbilly was shooting him with a shotgun. They shot him 3 times. They killed him in the street. Now, is an interesting thing. I was listening. I think it was on Breaking Points, or it might have been a different show I was listening to. But where we have these laws, like these self-defense laws, right? Like for example, like Florida has stand your ground. Remember that became very famous with Trayvon Martin. Stand your ground. That doesn't exist in Wisconsin, and I don't believe it exists in Georgia. But
it might in Georgia though.
It might in Georgia, but it didn't exist in Wisconsin. It didn't exist in Wisconsin, for sure. Yeah. It's not palatable in Wisconsin as a charge, but like as a defense. So the defense. So here's an interesting thing. Like this all relative, right? So this is the way it was explained to me by a lawyer on a podcast, and it wasn't Breaking Points, it was somebody else. Said when they showed the video, here's what actually happened with Kyle Rittenhouse. I think Rosenbaum threw a plastic bag with a bunch of shit in it and threw it at him, and they were cursing at him, and the kid backed up, and because he backed up when they were threatening him, that immediately kicks in the legal precedent from a legal standpoint of somebody defending themselves. And then, of course, other things happened. The other guy did this guy had a skateboard. But because they show him literally backing up, he was backing away, right? That as soon as that happened, most legal experts went, oh, he's going to be found not guilty because he's like you see him backing away, and it's pretty clear at some points he's backing up, even though he's armed, right? So that's why they said that was a slam dunk. Now, here's a funny turn of events. The 3 hillbillies, 2 of them I think are father and son, and I don't know the other guy's and he's a fellow, and I think they had clan ties. I don't know if you guys could tell me if I'm right or wrong, but
they look like it, man. One of them had a bowl cut. What the fuck? Man?
Yeah, they look like Leatherface's like direct relatives. Like there was like they're definitely related to Leatherface.
Somewhere in the family tree.
There's somewhere in the family tree there.
Well, also they were tied to the prosecutor's office. There was
because one of them was a cop. Yeah, one of them was the dad was a cop. He's tied to all the prosecutors. But here's an interesting thing. So their defense is similar to the Kyle Rittenhouse defense. They're saying that this was a citizen's arrest that went bad because this was somebody that was suspected of a crime. But the way the law works in that state is that in order for you to pursue a citizen's arrest, you either had to have witnessed an actual crime or have enough evidence strong enough to convince you that this person committed a crime. And these guys had none of that. In fact, there was like it was just presumed. Like there was like Ahmaud Arbery, like they didn't see him do anything wrong. Their entire defense strategy was that they thought he did something wrong and they were doing a citizen's arrest and they were defending themselves. But the thing is, there was no crime. Like he didn't commit a crime. They were trying to arrest somebody for a crime that didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? And there's no legal precedence for their defense at all. So that's why everybody's going, look, these dudes are going for aggravated murder. Like it's happening. Now, I'm saying that, but it's rural Georgia. I don't know. Look, I honestly, I have not paid a lick of attention to this, but every analyst has said that all these guys are done. They're going full charge. Their defense is terrible. So, have you guys heard anything contrary to that about this case?
But I saw the dad say if his son didn't kill him, he would have killed him. So like they're not very good with their tongue either, man.
Which, by the way, might be directly aligned from one of the Leatherface movies.
It might be. But yeah, these guys are fucking digging up their own grave, man. And I hope they lie in it. All three of them seem like they're pieces of shit. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, that was Bisho, have you heard anybody say, "Oh, they're gonna get off"? I haven't heard nothing, not even a whiff of innocence from these guys.
No, and I think that's the difference between Rittenhouse and these guys is. Like the Rittenhouse thing, the video showed from the point the video showed, it looked like there was grounds where he could be defending himself, as you said.
He was also a kid too, though.
Yes,
I think that gains him some sympathy.
These guys released a video thinking it would help their case, and it actually tanked them.
They thought it was exculpatory. Like that was the thing. Like it was like they thought let's just show the video of us murdering him. It's just
it was a manhunt. They were on a manhunt.
That was some purge shit. That was they were just missing the mask. I don't know, honestly. I haven't seen and look, I have a pretty wide berth of people in my world. I haven't seen a whiff of anybody saying anything in defense of those guys. The father, the son. I think their name is like McMillan or McMaster. I don't know. They're Hillbilly Jim and Cousin Luke and Uncle Elmer. I don't know what the fuck they are. Look, that was a clear-cut case of dudes hunting a dude down and doing dirt. And fucking and there's just no getting around it. Look, if those guys get off, I don't even know how we're going to be able to go back to a civilized society. There is no.
I think that calls for riots, though. If they get off,
but this is the thing, Shaheen. It's so far removed. Like it's not like no one has said that they're concerned.
Not getting off though.
Like they're not getting. Like it would be like so shocking. Like it would be like a shock. It would be a real shock. Now, if those guys get off, I mean, at this point, you might as well just climb into the tower and like burn the ladder underneath you because the whole world's gonna be on fire. Like people are never letting that go. But I honestly don't think it's even in the realm of possibility. I really don't,
not, man. We've had enough fires. Let's take a break for like a year, man. Please.
Yeah, I don't think it's even in the realm of possibility. I'm saying that, but again, like we don't know. Like stranger things have happened. But no one has like people are covering this case pretty. No one has said, well, there's a little concern. The prosecution's a little concerned. No. And the funny thing is, I think these hillbillies still think like they didn't do anything wrong. Like apparently like their whole defense is like, yeah, this dude, he was, we thought he robbed somebody and like, this is a citizen's arrest. We went in the house, got a shotgun, chased him down. We tried to prevent him from leaving. Like that, like they're still approaching this like they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. It was over a abandoned house. They thought that he was staying at the house and he was trying to climb back into the window or some shit like that. Yeah. And then they started stalking him. And then when he tried to fight back to get him off him, they killed him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, man, I'm saying I think those guys are taking the big ride. They're taking like, the full I think it's aggravated murder. At least I don't know what the videotape guy too. Like I don't know what the charge is for him because he chased him down too.
Yeah, the bowl cut guy.
Well, other than his haircut and his grammar, Like I was probably like, I mean, can you get, what are the charges for bad grammar and bad haircuts? I mean, I don't even know. Like, are those minors? Like, what do you think they
He
need to
definitely
charge?
looks like a pedo too, man. There's no way that dude's
They're gross.
fucking.
I mean, those guys are gross. I know, but again, I've seen, whereas like the Rittenhouse thing, it's like a 50-50, right? Like half the people you know are happy, half the people you know are sad. Half the people you know think he was innocent and this was all bullshit. Half the people you know think that this is, a huge injustice. This is way different, way different. It's a different, so different. Like these things could not be any different in any way. What are the names? Wow. Oh, he's got
Just
a.
look at their
Oh, they're.
fucking
That is a
faces.
strange
God
looking
damn it.
individual.
Wow.
Oh my
Wait,
God,
the
this
father.
pisses
You know
me
what's
off.
funny? The father and son literally look like they're brothers. Like, how? What's the age difference between them? I mean, I know it's rural Georgia. The age difference could be like 8 years.
Dude, this could be like front row wrestling fans.
Like,
This is
doesn't
literally like
the
front row.
ginger version of the son look like he's morphing into the dad? Like he's
Yes.
slowly morphing into his dad.
Come the fuck on, dude. This is front row CZW right here.
Wow.
Yeah. This is a joke. I mean,
Literally,
what are
if you zoom in at Tournament of Death, any of them choose one, like you'll see dudes just like that.
wait, what? Lawyers asked for a plea deal? No. Oh, that might
Where's
be old
that?
news. Could have sworn it says lawyers defendant asked for. Oh, they asked for a plea. Interesting.
4 days ago, yeah.
They asked for a plea deal. Yeah. These dudes are going to prison forever, dude. It's over. Like
Yeah,
it's
turned it down flat out. The prosecution knows
Good.
they got
because they know they have a good case. This is what I'm saying. These are different. Look, the prosecutors for the Kyle Rittenhouse thing were
Yeah,
awful.
make an example out of these fuckers, man. Please.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
these people.
This is a slam dunk. I mean, it's just so, the whole thing was terrible. I mean, it's
Just mind your own
absolutely
fucking business, man. I don't understand why people have to be so goddamn nosy. Somebody's
Well-
running in your neighborhood. Who gives a shit? Do you really have to drive around the neighborhood, circling the block with a shotgun to like?
Well, there were like break-ins and burglaries reported in the weeks leading up to this, and then they see this kid going through the construction site, and they.
Yeah, but it's also
assumed it
broad
was him.
daylight. The kid didn't have a bag. You know, like what is he
Yeah,
going to
right.
steal? What are you putting in your jogging shorts to steal from a construction site? Nails?
Right.
Like thumbtacks? Like he was in a t-shirt and jogging shorts. Like what? Like when you go to rob
realistically-
somebody, I'm fairly certain you bring things to put it in, right? Or you have like
Right.
tools. Like he had nothing.
Or
He
a
had
getaway car to like
nothing.
take.
He had
the shit
nothing on
with
him.
you.
He had nothing
Like,
on him.
you're
Nothing.
running a TV home, you know, like.
Yeah. I remember.
Plus,
I
dude,
saw this.
honestly, an abandoned house in a neighborhood like that, typically, let me ask you guys, what happens in abandoned houses in areas like that?
Meth.
Yeah, there's nothing in them. They're crack houses. What the
No,
fuck? are you
teenagers
stealing
go
from them?
there to fucking get high and fuck
Yeah,
around
there's
and finger
nothing in
bang
there.
and whatever.
What is
yeah.
he stealing? There's nothing in there but fucking.
But even if
homeless
even if they thought he was stealing, you take he's got a white T-shirt on and shorts. What is he steal? Where is the stealing? Like, what is he stealing from a house? Like, is he strapping things on?
people.
Does he have like a mule somewhere that he's putting the things on, like an old timey prospector?
Dude, he
like,
looks
it's
like
just
a
like-
skinny Bobby Lashley with the hat on. That picture right there.
Yeah.
That looks like Bobby Lashley right there.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. It's like look, he's got the shotgun and the pistol and all. Wow,
And it's like,
unbelievable.
even if he was stealing, like, is murder worth the crime? You know, does the punishment fit the crime?
And it's like
No.
he's getting away. It's like, well, he's on foot. You have a car. How is he getting away? Like, where was he going? He was on the road. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm trying to think. Like, okay, so let's just say I'm walking my dogs and I see a dude coming out of my neighbor's house that looks suspicious, and I know my neighbors aren't around, and I don't recognize this dude. Now, I'm a big guy with a big mouth, so I might say, "Hey, man, you know the so and so's? You know." Maybe. I don't know what I would do. I might say that. I might not say anything. I might just keep a casual observance. One thing I wouldn't do would assume something and then call people with guns to get in a truck and chase the person down. Like, it's just like, I don't know how you take that leap. Like, if you really thought he was doing
like 0
something
to
wrong.
100, man. When you take a gun and it involve that shit, dude, you're making a huge fucking jump, man.
But even like him at this work site, it's like, okay, like it's just plywood. Like, what is he?
There's nothing to steal, dude.
There's nothing to steal.
Yeah.
Like, what is he stealing? What is he going to do
Drywall.
with what is he stealing? Planks? Like, where is he putting the planks? He's going to walk
And,
home with
yo,
planks?
Honestly, if you showed up with a truck I would get why people would think you're stealing because this stuff is expensive. Like at Home Depot, this is a couple
If he
$1,000
showed up with a
shit.
truck and a bunch of other people and they're just walking around and then next thing you know, people are picking things up, then plus there's also a camera there. I don't know. There was just, look, these dudes thought that this was their neighborhood. They didn't know the guy. He's a black dude. You know, I don't know enough about the area, but just from looking at these guys, I don't think they look like they're more in line with maybe the neighborhood. They're not like, maybe that's what the neighborhood is. Maybe, I don't know how far he lived from this neighborhood. I don't know. I just don't know. But I do know that a guy with no bag, no car, no bike, no nothing, his mechanisms for stealing seem very limited to me. I don't know. Like, what is he going to steal with running shorts?
Yeah, how many 2x4s can you steal with you? Like,
maybe he wanted to just do a hacksaw Jim Duggan and take one of them.
That's just about what you can do.
Or unless they thought he was casing the neighborhood and coming back later if he'd been breaking into other houses. But
then you
even
keep an
that's
eye
a
on
stretch.
Then you keep an eye on him and go, hey, do you know that guy is? Where's that guy going? I don't know. I'm just keeping an eye on him real quick.
You can't fucking pull a gun out on somebody for just looking at a house.
Yeah. Shotguns and handguns and jumping in the like. It's just so like it's so like Mississippi Burning, dude. Like jumping in the pickup.
And again, he's on foot. If you feel, if you
he's on foot. Like, where is he going? You're in a car, yo. Like, where's
he flip flops? So he's not running away.
Yeah, the cops will catch him before he runs away. He's on foot. Like, he's not going anywhere. You don't have to take this matters into your own hands.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think these guys are going
to jail. And
he
was a former cop. Like, dude, you could have probably called one of your friends. They would have been there in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think they're going to get the full ride. They deserve it. This is
paddy wagon ride, man. Put them in the paddy wagon.
Get the full ride. Give them the full bore. And I'll tell you something. I don't care what anyone's not. I see shit. I haven't seen anybody glorify this. Nobody. None. Zero. I'm not saying nobody's doing it. I'm saying I ain't seeing it. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'm not seeing anybody thinking these guys should get off. Nobody's saying that.
No, I haven't seen anybody comment on
Nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Not even cops I know, and this guy's a cop, and a lot of times it'll be back to blue because he must have been doing something wrong. I've heard fucking zero from those people.
Yeah, and
or maybe people are just burned out. They don't want to comment anymore. People are just tired. Just don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty. I mean, this was on video. I mean, it was. I remember first I saw this, I was like, oh, why are they shooting the guy? He doesn't have a weapon. I remember the first I was like, but he doesn't have a weapon. And it's like, yeah, he's shooting the guy because the guy with the shotgun is such a bad fighter that he's losing a fist fight with a shotgun. That's like, like it's just like the dude was punching him. The dude they murdered was going to beat the shit out of them, even though they had the guns. Well, enjoy prison. I'm sure prison in Georgia is going to be cakewalk for you. So
no Vaseline, man. No Vaseline.
No, just a match and a little bit of gasoline. But one thing I've seen a lot of, which. Oh, God. And it's like we just go from tragedy to tragedy. So we had this thing on Friday, and we have this Ahmaud Arbery, and I apologize if I keep mispronouncing his first name.
Ahmaud Arbery.
How do you pronounce that? I'm so sorry.
Aubrey.
Ahmaud. No, his first name. It's Ahmaud Arbery. I keep hearing, I hear it pronounced so many different ways. I think
it's Ahmaud. I don't know. I think that's what it is.
But on top of all this other stuff, we had a fucking tragedy again, like in Wisconsin, which another person has died from. How do you pronounce that town, Bisho?
Is it like Waukesha?
Waukesha, I think, is the actual pronunciation. So they had this Christmas parade in Waukesha, and they had apparently it's a big deal. And it was now 2 days ago. And this is actually wrong, Bisho. Now we're up to 6 dead because the 8-year-old died today.
Yeah, there's 48 injured actually by now.
Yeah, we have 48. So an SUV plowed through a Christmas parade, which was mostly children and senior citizens doing dances and which is a big tradition, I guess. They had the dancing grannies or something like that they were called. Yeah, so this dude plowed through everybody and killed a bunch of people. And an 8-year-old just died today. The 6th victim died today. And, just a terrible circumstance. I mean, you see the footage of it. I really don't want to see the footage.
No, I'm not going to play it.
I just don't want to. It is a horror show, beyond horror shows. I mean, it is, and this guy was going fast. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the footage, right?
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah, it's just
Apparently he was like a local rapper and he got in a domestic dispute with his girlfriend. And
yeah.
I guess the cops didn't catch him on time because she did call the cops on him. They were on their way to their house, but I guess he escaped prior to that. And
Well, he
he
had
was on
just
his
gotten
way.
out on very low bail, which is another big thing that's coming out of this
Yeah.
because he has a pretty lengthy criminal record, and the bail for him was like $1,000 or something, a cash bail of like $1,000. But he also apparently has some pretty interesting views on Jews in his rap songs. Apparently, he's not a fan of the Jew.
On Jews?
Yeah,
What a random. I've never
no,
heard
he's got
rappers having beef with Jews.
have you ever listened to Brand Nubian?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's different though. They're like conscious rap. They're going back. Like,
I actually like Brand Nubian a lot, but
yeah, but that's a. I don't know. They're talking about like black Israelites and
yeah, it's true. And they're actually and that's actually 25 years
their
ago.
beef isn't like with like Jews. Like they're on
No,
some
this
other
dude
shit,
this
man.
dude has some rap songs where he's blatantly saying some anti-Semitic shit. But you know, I'm sure it's climbing the charts. But anyway, so a sixth person has died, an 8-year-old died today. I guess this guy's name is, what is his name? What's his name?
Daryl Brooks.
Daryl Brooks. Pretty intense criminal record. He just got out, I think, recently on a very low bail. They're saying what he got out on was, wow, he looks like he's in the Bad Brains. That's pretty crazy. He looks like the guitarist from the Bad Brains, actually. He looks like Dr. No from the Bad Brains. That's pretty wild. Yeah, he's got open criminal cases. He's got 6 convictions for violent crimes. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know enough about cash bail, but it seems like whatever he was out on, he's got a lot of charges. I mean, he's got
$1,000.
$1,000 cash bail.
That's
wow, crazy. I mean, a violent criminal gets out. Domestic violence case, by the way. So much for believing women. Got a 15-year-old girl pregnant. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one convicted sex offender too, by the way. Got a 15-year-old girl pregnant in Sparks, Nevada when he was 24. He pleaded guilty, was sentenced to probation. Oh, so Rosenbaum of him. On 23rd,
I was going to say, are we still talking about Georgia? Or is...
Then he got arrested for failing to register as a sex offender, but he bailed out on that charge and never even appeared in court. Active warrant, Nevada, ever since. This is going back 5 years. So this is going to be, look, this is going to spark a lot of shit, okay? Because there's a lot of question marks here. One of the biggest ones is, why was this guy out? And this seems to be happening a lot. You know, for a country that's supposed to be very terrible with the unfair justice system, it seems like it was pretty fair to this guy, because his crimes seem like he should be serving lengthy prison sentences, and he's not serving any prison sentences. He's out here making songs about Jews instead of serving his prison sentence for, being a sex offender.
Well, he might be putting a lot of people in jail, though. It might be beneficial for them him to get out and be out there.
Yeah, in 1999, found guilty on substantial battery, intended bodily harm, which is a felony. 2011, found guilty of obstructing justice from an officer charge. 2010, strangulation and suffocation felony charges.
Jesus, man.
I mean, like, this is a dangerous guy. This is a dangerous dude, and he killed a lot of people, and more people might die. There's a lot of people in the hospital. Now, when you hear something like this, right, people get angry, people get sick, people get depressed, they get upset. But if you're steeped in ideology, what you start doing is you start using it as a reason to say outrageously crazy things, thinking that it's okay. And what happened is a lot of people, because this was Wisconsin, a lot of people are trying to connect this random act of violence to the Rittenhouse trial, which seemingly don't have really anything to do with each other. Really,
yeah, it's race baiting, man. I don't know why people are bringing race into this thing. I don't think this guy was trying to kill white people.
No, I don't think so at all. I think he's a crazy criminal. Yeah, he's a crazy criminal doing crazy criminal shit.
Yeah,
period.
People were saying he was trying to kill white people. I'm like, dude, I really don't think that was the case. I don't think he would care if there was black people in the crowd or white people, or it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it sounded like he was just fleeing the scene of.
He was just going all. Yeah, he was just going all out. He was going all out. Like, that's it. Like, whoever was in his way was in his way. you know. But what was interesting was the lack of fear of people saying awful things to to not necessarily condemnation, but in a way to tie it to the Kyle Rittenhouse. And one of these people was a woman in Chicago named Mary Lemansky. This is an interesting person. This woman was, I guess, a Democratic strategist and worked for the Democratic Party. And she's also a member of the Second City comedy troupe, believe it or not, which our friend
does
John
Krauser
Krauser
know her?
Well, there could be she could be in a different class.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
but I don't want to, throw. We have to ask our friend Krauser.
Yeah.
But this woman, she's in her 30s. She's a single mom. She apparently was a failed musician and has been trying very hard to be famous for a while. And she just thought this was a good opportunity rather than to say, oh, this is a tragedy. This is terrible. My heart goes out to the victims. She's basically said this was karma for Kyle Rittenhouse, these people dying, that this was karma. And she probably thought in her mind that this was a smart, cohesive take that only an intellectual person on the left can say, because they tend to say a lot of crazy things like this. And boy, did this go badly for this woman. She was fired immediately. She shut down all of her social media. But initially, she was doubling down before she left social media. She was doubling down on what she said. And people were outraged. I mean, people were disgusted that somebody that works for the Democratic Party would be so brazen to say these things. I mean, it was just there was just no way that people were going to let this go, especially with the death of senior citizens and children and a seemingly unrelatable thing. She basically, can you scroll? This is a quote from her. I'm not making any of this up. Can you
She
scroll
looks like
up a
she's
little
in
bit?
the cast of SNL in that picture.
Yeah, she's got a face for radio. Can you scroll up a little more? Here we go. This is her about. She said it was probably just self-defense. She tweeted about the car, the car came to help people, like Rittenhouse, or whatever. She said, and then she said, "You reap what you sow." I believe in karma, and this came back around quick on the citizens of Wisconsin. Now, this is an educated woman, right? She's a mother. She's a white lady over 35. So, she's obviously very important because white women, middle-aged white women are very important. They're super important, as we've learned from the Karen videos. And this woman, initially doubled down and was saying things after when people started attacking. She's like, nobody cared about me my whole life. My mom used to leave me for hours at a time alone in my playpen. I've put out music for 20 years. Nobody gave a shit. Why do people all of a sudden care about a stupid remark? I can't believe my 15 minutes of fame is for this shit. That doesn't sound like an empathetic person. But apparently when the Democratic Party that she works for, the DuPage Democrat, found out about it, people were besieging them. She basically apologized to them and started showing remorse to them, and they gave her an opportunity to resign. I don't know. What do you guys think of somebody that does something like this?
I think obviously it's pretty gross. It doesn't surprise me. I think once again, man, social media gives access to people to just say all kinds of fucking garbage that comes to their mind. And the Twitter finger thing, man, that gives you the capability to just fucking not really think about things twice and just put it out there. And once you put it out there, it's screenshotted and it's on there forever. And you're fucked. And especially when you're somewhat of an important person or somebody with a following, people are screenshotting that as soon as it comes out. There's people that hate you that are just waiting for you to just say the wrong thing so they can fucking burn you for life. And that goes for wrestlers. That goes for politicians, anybody, podcasters, there's,
podcasters in particular. That's for sure.
Yeah, it goes for everybody, man. Everybody gets the same
wrestling podcasters, Shaheen, in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. They get
top of the list.
Although I'll say this, man, they kind of deserve it a lot of the times. There's a lot of awful wrestling podcasts.
We'll get to that. B-Show, what do you think about this young woman who has a face like a foot?
When I look at her tweets, and I had to go through this with someone recently in our family, it says, no one cared about me my whole life. My mom used to leave me alone for hours at a time. I've put out music for 20 years. This is a textbook example of someone who craves attention and use social media to tweet some snarky ass shit. That was, I would have respected her more if she said it was a joke. But she still stood by what she tweeted. To me, when people completely cave and do like the "I'm sorry" shit, and like I don't know, man. Like I think some people, as we mentioned on the Q&A show, with social media, they feel like they can just say shit and get away with it, and it's going to make them famous, or it's going to get laughs or attention or whatever it is.
Right.
But they're not ready for what comes after that.
Well, I'll tell you the problem, and I'm gonna take this a little deeper than maybe I was prepared for, but I think we're surface leveling everything here. We're saying here's a woman who thought this was a good idea for her to expand her political beliefs and push her belief system because because I'm sure she's in a social bubble where everyone was saying that Kyle Rittenhouse is a white supremacist and he should have went to prison and that America's terrible and that everybody in Wisconsin's terrible, blah, blah. So that's what she sees all the time, right? When she constantly sees that. So she's just basically going, it's like that circle of friends when you're all making a joke and then somebody makes a joke about somebody's dead parent and then everybody goes, whoa, 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 wait a minute. We were just calling so and so's mom fat. Brad's dad's dead. You can't make that joke. Like, too far, right? My thing is, why doesn't an educated person, mother with a high profile job, clearly not a dumb person, she's got like a high profile. Why would somebody think that this was okay before they even tweet it? You see what I'm saying? Like what happened to our society where, Mark Ruffalo, who's in the Avengers movies, who's the Incredible Hulk, who's a great fucking actor, gives, sweet nicknames to the Rosenbaum guy, is referring to him as like his friend or something like that. Like without even thinking about the 11 children that he sexually assaulted. Like, you know what I mean? Like what is going on in our Constitution internally that our need to pledge fealty to our ideology and our teams is so important and immediate that smart and otherwise educated actors and politicians and media people and people that work for the Democratic Party or the Republican Party, the sickness is so deep, the rot is so deep that smart people stop being smart because their brain is broken. Like she probably felt like, I'm going to say something so compelling that so many people on the left are going to fucking probably share. And maybe some people are going to tweet nasty things at me, but my people will get it because they know this is karma. I think this bitch really believed that was karma. I think Mark Ruffalo really believes that Rosenbaum is a victim of white supremacy and racial injustice. I really do. I don't think it's a shtick. I think these people really believe it. Just like I think people, I really do. Just like I think people like Tucker Carlson really thinks Kyle Rittenhouse is the living embodiment of the American dream. Like, I don't think this is a shtick. I think this is real. I think
it's a combination of both, though. But the reason being why people that you wouldn't expect to do so are tweeting this kind of crazy stuff. I think a lot of people are on edge, man. A lot of people are desperate for attention, whether it's good or not. Whatever kind of attention they get, it sounds toxic, but negative attention, some people thrive on that. And at the same time, you look at like kids nowadays, their attention span, dude, it's like 15 seconds. It's TikTok videos. They can't even watch a fucking episode of anything. You know what I mean? I think it's the same thing for our filter, like our thinking. We don't even think thoughts through anymore. We just spew shit out. That's just how we live, And it's only going to get worse from here, man. I'm telling you, social media is going to have a bad fucking impact in the long run, dude. It really is, because you're already seeing generations change, and it's all based on social media. I mean, from MySpace days to now, the change is astronomical. It's crazy.
But the thing is, we've created a society where we actually think people are going to universally agree with anything we have to say, regardless of facts, regardless.
Narcissism.
Yeah. I mean, that's my concern. My concern is that educated people are saying these things. And by the way, she's not the only. There's another woman from the Democratic Party that said a similar thing. That story's breaking. I don't have all the info on it. There's another woman with a similar job who, by the way, is another middle-aged white lady who said almost the exact same thing. And now she's going to probably lose her job. And I'm saying to myself, why are you doing this? Like what? Like you,
Dude.
but we all learn etiquette. We all learn etiquette. I was getting my fucking oil changed today, right? And the card reader
Pause.
didn't work. What's that?
I was just saying pause. It sounded,
Oh, I was getting my oil changed, right? And I'm Valvoline. You sit there. I always go to Valvoline. Normally I'm in and out of there in 15 minutes. I was there for an hour and 15 minutes. Do you know why? The credit card machine didn't work and they couldn't figure it out. And I'm getting frustrated and I'm getting pretty angry. Now, I kept it to myself because at the end of the day, my common sense kicked in and I said, it's not this guy's fault. He didn't do anything wrong. His system. And the guy's apologizing profusely. And he was like, look, man, I feel really terrible about this. I go, dude, I know it's not your fault, man.
And imagine being him. He's in a worse position than you because he's going to have to deal with people.
But here's what would happen 9 times out of 10. Somebody would get on their phone, hit record, and go, so I'm sitting here at Valvoline, and they can't figure out how to make the card read my card. So as far as I'm concerned, I should just leave. And I'm going to yell at this person, and I'm going to be, here's the Valvoline on so-and-so Avenue. And they're like, and put the phone. But my common sense kicks in and goes, well, that's not the kid's fault.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I want to go home.
Moment, man. They need that world star moment.
But most people, maybe 10 people out of 11 might have sat there and said, I'm going to videotape this and be like, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes, sir. I should be able to leave. Get your manager on the phone. No, I just sat there like an idiot and fucking went through my phone. I was like, fuck, I hope this works out. I'm sitting on the thing. Like, what am I going to do? Peel out and leave? Like, Bisha, what do you think about this sickness that seems to be happening?
Multi-layered, but I think Shaheen hit on something. You said people legitimately think this is true. I won't debate that. I think it's more like people feel like this is true. They're not thinking it through. And with social media, if they feel something is true, they can immediately go on Twitter, immediately react out of anger, tweet whatever they feel as opposed to whatever they think. Last night, someone showed the big golden egg from Survivor Series that Vince McMahon showed up with. And me, without knowing the situation, my immediate reaction mentally was, this is like the fucking Octopussy Fabergé egg, and this dude looks like a Bond villain, and they just let, fucking 300 people go. So right. I tweeted it for laughs as a joke, not knowing the context at all. That it was a prop from a movie and all this shit. It's not.
Right.
So similar to that, it's like that's what social media has done to us, and also the instant gratification emotionally of like telling kids their feelings matter, and feelings matter, but that doesn't mean that your feelings are true. And I'm going through this with a family member right now who just blew up our fucking Christmas with my brother, and I'm not going to talk in detail about it, but like they live in their feelings. I don't know if it's the whole generation of people, but people that live in their feelings and then immediately act out their feelings as opposed to thinking through situations, for some reason they find support and they find echo chambers who completely.
But that's what I'm saying, though, Bisha. But that's the problem is this woman probably felt like I'm going to get 10,000 likes for this because everybody knows this is karma, right?
And even if it wasn't conscious in that one moment, she's in the habit of doing that because you're right. That is the truth, and that's what she's used to.
Right.
So it's just become pablum. It's become
too much power.
Yeah.
Social media has given everybody way too much power by giving everybody a voice, like an instant voice. You look at the gamer girls on Twitch, right?
Right.
Man, these bitches are out here selling $500 bottles of their fucking dirty bath water. You don't think that?
Well, the holidays are coming up,
Yeah, like, come on, man. Imagine what kind of ego you're building in that girl's head. And that's just a normal chick that's playing video games. Imagine these politicians. Imagine how many tweets they're getting.
But who am I mad at? The girl selling it or the person buying it? You see,
the person buying it for sure.
That's a Shamil Shamazel, right there.
No, but what I'm saying is like it's the followers, man. Everybody has a million sheep that are following them, that are sucking them off every tweet they send. So they feel comfortable to say whatever they want, and
this woman's life is inherently ruined now. She's a single mother, and I'm just like there's things I don't do as a middle-aged person with a wife and children. that if I wasn't that, I might say and do. And because that's where my common sense kicks in. So it's like I check my feelings because these other things have to happen. They're more important than my feelings, right? But that's not what's fucking happening now. That's it. Here's another example of somebody that has too much time. There's a woman who wrote some book. I think she's a doctor from the UK about the movie that just came out about the Williams sisters, King Richard, right? Which I actually am going to check out. I saw the trailer a couple times, and I don't know a lot about Venus and Serena Williams personally, but I knew from Snoop Dogg growing up that Snoop Dogg used to tell stories about them because they're from South Central Los Angeles, and their dad would have them on a tennis court like as little kids, like every time they were like in a park, like Snoop and his friends were in a park, like hanging out, they would see these two young black girls playing tennis all the time. And that was Serena and fucking Venus Williams. And the reason they were doing that was because their father was like a fucking drilled this into them to be exceptional. So this is their tribute to this man who fucking made this, who made this happen for them. And it's their tribute as being two of the highest profile athletes in the fucking world and accomplishing things that like, no one probably thought they would accomplish. This is their tribute. So you see the trailer for this movie. Will Smith plays the dad. You know it's about them. And you go, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know a lot about the Williams sisters. Or maybe people know a ton about them and go, oh my God, that's about their dad. What did this woman, Dr. Jessica Trailer say? This is a real tweet. This is not bullshit. Did they seriously make a film called King Richard about the success of Serena and Venus Williams, but it's about their dad, Richard? And again, this is probably a woman. This is a woman who writes books about how men are terrible. So she's probably a lot of fun at parties and doesn't know how to have an orgasm. And she probably thought, this is going to blow up. People are going to love this. Now, granted, it got 2,000 likes. But the ratio, she got 5,000 quote tweets to the point where not that long after she had to tweet, I see that this gets people. What did she tweet here? Can you go back to that? I was just about to read it and you clicked on it. Oh, I get this has annoyed people, but I generally didn't expect a film about two of the most powerful, successful, and amazing black female athletes to be named after a man or center a man. I would have loved for this film to be about them and not a man. That's it, really. And it's just like, dude, all these people are like, dude, their father, this is a tribute to their father, you fucking moron. But here's this woman, middle-aged white lady, shitting on a movie that she doesn't know anything about because in her mind, the movie is sexist because the movie about the Williams, which, by the way, it's about their father, who was their coach, who trained them to be what they are. What a selfless thing of Serena and Venus to go, hey, we don't want to make a movie about us. We want to make a movie about our dad. What a selfless, beautiful fucking thing. Way to take a selfless thing that these two women who are like iconic forever, but their father, whose name I didn't know until last week when I saw the trailer, okay? And I'm sure a lot of people know who their dad is. Why do you take agency over what Serena and Venus Williams want to do with their fucking story with their father, white doctor lady from the UK? Like, what a cunty thing to do. But again, this person thought that, oh, this is the patriarchy is in full display here, and then she got destroyed by people. Mostly people going, yeah, white feminism. This is what white feminism is. This is white feminism. This is a woman who thinks because she's white feminist that if everything has to be fed through that lens. So fuck anybody that doesn't go through that lens.
Yeah.
I mean, the nerve of this person, the absolute fucking nerve. And she's a fucking doctor. Can you click? I want to see what she's a doctor of.
Yeah, there's a real disconnect with this lady. She seems to not be able to connect the dots.
By the way, this is her book, Why Women Are Blamed for Everything, Exposing the Culture of Victim Blaming by Dr. Jessica Taylor.
Yeah. This is a annoying profile. This profile already just turns me off.
Yeah.
Well, there's people that were saying, like, she's now the poster child for the title of her book. It shouldn't be about all of her shit. This should just be, the book should be about her tweet, because that's exactly why women get blamed for everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, but it's like, but bitch, how do you not, like, by the way, she's from England. She's from the UK. I don't know if she's a big deal in our country. I don't know. I've never heard of her before, but she has 80,000 followers. She might be. She seems like she's a personality in the UK. And maybe she does a lot of good things for women's rights there. That's awesome. This is a very stupid, like vacuous, awful, slightly racist thing to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It comes across as a little racist to me because here is somebody who thinks that they have agency. Her value is so much more important than the two high profile black female athletes who she supposedly loves so much but doesn't know that their father literally like would train them night and day to get them to this level. Did she think that Serena and Venus just woke up and just swatted the ball and like it was like somebody had to how often do we see movies about the people who created the important person? Honestly,
never really. I don't get racism from this though. I think there's just
it's a
huge
little racist.
Disconnect. I don't
well, you know who said it's racist? A lot of non-white people.
Yeah.
Really? I don't.
You got to look at Shah. You got to look at yeah. They were like, this is what white feminism looks like. This is white feminism.
Yeah, there were people saying like, why don't you let black females make their own decisions on how they want to represent men in their lives and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah, they were
what
like,
does the color have to do with anything? Because I feel like if there were white women, she probably would have said the same shit about them. I mean,
well, that's true too, but it comes across as very condescending.
Well,
like,
and that's where the racism comes from. Is you have these people who try to be virtuous. They're white, they're female, and they're doing things. They're so blinded by their own lens of what they see shit through that they don't understand how condescending they're being toward the people that they claim they're sticking up for.
Yeah.
And it's just another way to put themselves up on that pedestal above everybody else. So.
Right. I mean, like,
that's a point.
Yeah, I charge that to ignorance. I don't see that as like racist though.
Well, you can, but prejudice is a form of the ignorance. It's tied to prejudice.
I get.
Yeah, because we talk about that with like, let's say a guy who's never been around black people and he doesn't like them, so, quote unquote, and then he meets one on the job and everyone's like, well, you're friends with him, and he says, oh, he's one of the good ones. I've heard that from people before. It's like, no, you dumb motherfucker.
Is that on your family? Bisho, is that on your family crest?
No, but like. It's like, no, you dumb motherfucker. You finally got to know someone on a human level as opposed to just what you thought, and they're a good person, regardless of what color they are or what gender they are. So that's no different than this person in their ignorance saying something like this. And it really comes down to, like you mentioned, that lens. She's so against men and has it so against patriarchy and shit like that she missed the whole point that it's two black women who are very successful, who feel like they owe a lot to their father for getting them to that dance and providing this for them, this opportunity, holding up a great image and great example of a black father.
Right.
But
yeah,
yet,
I mean, yeah.
Boo the patriarchy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. By the way, the people attacking this woman, most of them are not white. Like, and because they viewed this as kind of condescending, kind of racist. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, it's not, you don't get to take that agency. Like, why are you speaking for that? Like, well, like, how is that a negative to you? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a negative to you. Yeah, there's another one. Like, hey, look, she hates
but I also hate that approach too, where it's like, you can't comment on anything unless you're from that same race. Where it's like, oh, like, well, you're a white woman. Why the fuck are you talking about? That's like,
but not comment. But she's actually shitting on it. She took a shit on the fact that they named a movie after their father. Like, that's not okay. You know,
I charge that to her just not having the whole story straight and just being an idiot and putting something up before she had all that.
But she doubled down.
Yeah,
when everyone came after her, she doubled down and she said, well, I understand, but I am sick of seeing white men at the center of these women's lives.
That's what fucking people do. People can't admit when they're wrong, and then they just keep fucking digging their grave deeper and deeper. And then here we are.
Yeah, and she didn't even delete it too, and she's just getting ratio.
Yeah, pride, because she won't. She'll be like, this is my fucking Second Amendment, First Amendment rights. I can say what I want.
Yeah, and it's just like and some of them get pretty deep. It's like there's a lot of black women commenting, being like, "I'm so sorry, this is so offensive to you that a black man took care of his children." When you see negative like that's what they're saying. Like, but and they're like, "Where are you when there's all these negative stereotypes of black men in movies and you don't say anything?" Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, and it's like, by the way, Serena and Venus produced the movie.
See,
Their whole family was involved in the movie.
I see this as an attack on men, though. I don't see, like, if she said something about like black men, you know what I mean, then I get it. But like,
Yeah.
I think she's sexist more than racist. You know.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, apparently this is her MO. You know what I mean? And
She's white woman splaining is what she's doing.
Yeah, and like here's a bishop, here's a black bishop saying, "Is a white woman seriously taking issue with a film about a strong black man raising his daughters to be as being an integral part of their lives and successful?" I'm sorry, that's not the narrative that you're used to. It's like, but that's what a lot of people are saying. It's like, it's like, so where are you when all these things? Where are you when all these negative stereotypes are happening in movies? Like you're only upset when it's, because she didn't speak out about any other like, so yeah, I mean it is a bit man hating. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm sorry that this annoys you. Everything isn't created to appease white women. Sorry. And again,
Yeah,
none
I
of these
find
are
it
white
more
people.
offensive towards men than, I think she was reaching for a cheap shot at men more so than anything.
Yeah, and it totally backfired. You know what I mean? Like it just totally. But again, it's
no one
this
cares
thing.
about men though. Like no one gives a shit about us. Like you know what I mean? We're just meant to be shit on by everything. It's just
Well, but also I think but here's a woman who probably thinks, and this is probably somebody of means, upper middle class, possibly wealthy, like I don't know who was she helping by saying that? Women? Well,
white women.
but yeah, but I'm saying, like, they literally produced that. They're the executive producers of the movie. It's their story. Like like
Right.
like like so because you didn't like their story, like that's not how you would have told their story. Which rich white doctor lady? Like, like that's the problem. Like I
No,
don't
I
know.
get it. It's
It's a
out of
dick.
line.
It's a super dick move. It's a super, and she's not apologizing for it. She's completely, dude. My favorite is, "You crackers are insufferable." That's my favorite response. You
Yeah, I
know?
get this has annoyed people, but I genuinely didn't expect a film about two of the most powerful, successful, and amazing black female athletes to be named after a man or center a man. I would have loved this film to be all about them and not a man. That's it. And it's funny because
It's not about a man. It's about their father. He's not a man.
Exactly.
He's their fucking father. He's the reason they were successful. You stupid twat. It's his sacrifice was the reason why they were successful. Jesus fucking Christ! Like, why is that so hard for you to accept? Like, what did she really
I think her
think?
main
Like,
problem is the fact that the movie's titled after a man. That's her main thing. It's not about like, you know.
but it's about him. By the way, they say he's probably getting an Academy Award nomination for it too. That'd be funny if he wins.
yeah,
I don't know. I just,
Shit on her.
but that's more. But this is, again, this is somebody who thinks that they have agency to say these things. You know what I mean? Like she didn't apologize at all. And here's countless. I mean, dude, this is like black person after black person offended over and over. Like there's just too many to count. No, like takes no responsibility for it whatsoever.
because she doesn't have to. And it's always funny to see someone who's successful, educated, probably has wealth and money, who tries to like advocate on behalf of people she think are, or she thinks is, downtrodden or not there. It's like that right there is an elitism that we don't talk about.
Well, people were talking about. They talked about it on. I don't know what show it was on, but it was one of my podcasts. Are you guys familiar with the term luxury beliefs?
No.
I was listening to this story by this dude. I think it might have been on Barry Weiss's podcast. But there's this dude. He's an Asian American dude who had a really tough life. Yeah, Rob Henderson. This guy's story, dude. This guy's story is unfucking believable. Okay, this dude's name is Rob Henderson. He's Korean, and he had probably one of the worst lives you'd ever have ever. He was completely abandoned by his birth father, who was like an American who married his mother, who was a drug addict who left him. Then he was adopted by a family. And then 2 years into being adopted by a family, the adopted father and mother break up. And the adopted father, who he took his last name, abandoned him to punish the adopted mother for breaking up with him. And then this dude is on the verge of basically going to jail because he's getting a lot of trouble. And what does he do? He takes the SATs, and then he decides that to go into the army, and he ends up getting into fucking Yale and shit. Like this was a dude who was on fast track to prison, and he became an intellectual. And he found, like, after serving in the Air Force, stuff like that, he's an Asian dude who comes from abject poverty and broken families. And when he didn't go in with certain, like, crazy, like, left wing beliefs, he was told by people that's because he comes from privilege. Like, meanwhile, like, this dude didn't even, like, he was told the reason he feels that way is because he comes from privilege. And this is a guy abandoned by two families. His mother was a drug, like, he never even saw his birth mother, just basically got arrested for drugs. He never saw her again. Like literally went into the military to avoid probably going to prison. But he had rich people, rich white people in Yale, which he got into late on the GI Bill, tell him that when he questions any, like, left wing beliefs, it's because it's his privilege. So he came up with this term called luxury beliefs, because he had rich people in his classes expound these beliefs that it's easy for them to believe in because the quality of their life is unaffected. Like, the upper class benefits by basically decrying its own privilege. That's basically. So it's an interesting terminology, because once you really start thinking about it, luxury beliefs are everywhere. They're everywhere. Like, I'm going to see a full-on luxury. I guarantee you a lot of people are going to see luxury beliefs on display on Thanksgiving, right? Like, I'm going to go to a mansion in a resort area, like a fucking $5 million fucking house mansion with 30 other people, and I guarantee you half the people in there are going to be talking about the injustices of the world while they're sitting in a fucking mansion.
That's right.
For Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's
like luxury beliefs. You're sitting in a mansion with me, complaining about the injustices of the world, and I'm like, motherfucker, you're in a mansion. Luxury beliefs, because you can say these things because you're otherwise unaffected by it. He wrote, like, a whole thing about it. He's a fascinating guy. Can you scroll down?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about, this is written for, he was like, yeah, massage, like, people were telling him monogamy is outdated. And, like, like, a former classmate from Yale told me monogamy is kind of outdated and it's not good for society. This is him in Yale. So I asked her what her background is and if she planned to marry. And of course, she comes from an affluent family, and her family is, like, from a well-known tech company. And yeah, she's going to get married, though. She's going to have a monogamous marriage. It's just like, and people would say, oh, we got to get rid of the traditional family, and all these people that are raised from traditional families. And he was like, the only explanation from this is upper class Americans used to display their social status with goods. Now they do it with beliefs. So rather than talk about having a great new car, you have this great new ideology that you believe in. Luxury beliefs. It's fascinating. Fascinating guy, man.
Very insightful, very intelligent to pick up, because, and especially with this stuff, like, we talk about it in an ancillary way, but to crystallize it and to label it and to give it a name and something substantive, I mean, that's really, those are the true philosophers of our time, not people that just repeat bumper sticker shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, but here is a guy who comes from abject poverty, lived in an orphanage, gets adopted by a family, only really had 2 good years of stability, right? And before he had to, before his adopted father abandoned him. And as soon as he doesn't conform to these beliefs on his college campus, after serving our country, and getting into fucking Yale, okay? This was a dude who barely went to high school, was going to fail out of high school. Yale. He's in Yale, okay? And by the way, now I think he's teaching at Oxford, okay? Young guy still. Yale and Cambridge, okay? And he's, and he has rich people that come from wealthy families shit on the same system that allows them to do that, because it's a luxury belief to them. I love the term. I hope it picks up. I really, really do. And I'm not doing any of this guy. By the way, I'm not doing this guy justice. If you want to look him up, his name is Rob Henderson. He's a veteran. He's a fascinating dude. And anytime he was confronted by people about things that he was told to get upset about as, like, a person of color, they immediately flipped on him and told him it's because he has privilege, when his life was the opposite of privileged in every way. Opposite of privileged in every way.
It's funny that you bring this up. I just had a conversation with someone the other day They're down with the patriarchy, down with men, all this feminist shit that
Who
people,
isn't, Bisho? Who isn't?
yeah, these days. But this person is a trust fund baby. The money in the trust fund that they're allowed to quit their job and take care of them and live off the trust was funded by her father and grandfather. Down with the patriarchy, though.
Yeah, but
It's
not
insanity.
grandpa. Yeah, but not my grandpa.
Yeah, it's a not in my own backyard type of shit.
Well, the funny thing is, it's like a year ago, you were hearing things about get rid of the police, abolish the police, get rid of the justice system, open the prisons, don't arrest anybody for rioting, uh, and then as soon as January 6th happened, the everybody liked the police again, and the same the people on the left who were basically telling people in 2020 to abolish the police were voting to create a Capitol Police Department all over the country. They gave like $30 billion to create new police and to expend on the Capitol Police. And then as soon as they didn't like the verdict from Kyle Rittenhouse, they were like, well, people were like, prior to Kyle Rittenhouse, you had all these people saying things like, oh, we really got to do something about prison reform and the justice system. And that's like, well, what do you think about this kid? Well, he's got to go to jail forever. We should put him under the prison and bury him. It's like this mixed message of things. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, Rob Henderson is an Air Force and a PhD candidate at the University of Cambridge, which is Oxford. Okay, this is the highest of the high. Highest of the high. Crazy. I don't know. These are luxury beliefs. That's a luxury belief as far as I'm concerned. But, I don't have any. Look, I get it. I mean, I think this is something we all do. We all kind of want our side. We all kind of want our team to win or whatever. But I like seeing people pump the brakes on rich white people, telling them how the world works. I really do. To me, like I could watch that all fucking day. I mean, there's nothing. People getting put in their place over that shit, I fucking think is amazing. Like I could watch that shit all day. But I just don't understand why more people don't do it. You know what I mean? I really don't. I don't understand how more people don't do it. Hey, Bisho, was this you who we talked about the Fight Club and Breaking Bad thing?
Yeah, let me try to find it. There was someone on Twitter who got ratioed pretty good. He was trying to say that Fight Club and Breaking Bad were extensions of like toxic masculinity and like supported a
that Fight Club argument's been made a zillion times, going back to everything from Chuck Palahniuk, like going back to the book though.
Yeah, and he got ratioed pretty good for it. But I mean, to me, it just kind of sounded stupid because isn't the whole point of what they're doing in Fight Club to tear down fascism and tear down the system? Eventually, that's what Project Mayhem was. Yeah. But his thing was, well, it's all men and they're using aggression to gain power, and it's this award, and they mistreat women, like Marla Singer, I think her name is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the gist of it. But you're saying this has been around for a while?
Well, the book was around. I mean, they made the movie fairly quickly after the book. The book, by the way, the book is so much better than the film. The film's great. But I don't understand how Breaking Bad, I don't get that at all. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. But the guy got ratioed for it?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm trying to find the original tweet, but I think I'm going to have to go back
But again, this is all like a theme. This is just people saying dumb shit. Hoping that
bitching, man.
Yeah, it's just people bitching, yo.
For no reason.
It's people bitching for like literally no fucking reason at all. Like honestly, like I don't know. To me that's whack as fuck. I just don't understand that at all. People are bitching. I saw a similar thing today. It's funny you're bringing this up though. So somebody, I don't know if this was on comicbook.com. So I'm the only one here. I went and saw Ghostbusters last Friday, and I got to say I loved it. I thought it was great. I absolutely loved it. I really, really did. And I was surprised with how emotional I got. If you're a fan of Ghostbusters, of the original, and you grew up with it, and like as most of us did in some form or another, whether it was the cartoon, which I know was very popular, the real Ghostbusters was super popular. It was on for a long time, or the OG first two movies. It's a great movie. I loved it. I thought they did a wonderful tribute to Harold Ramis in it. I thought they did a tribute to the OG one, and it's really great. Like I liked it a lot. Now that's not to say that it's a flawless film, but it's a PG movie, mostly jettisoned by children. And Paul Rudd is in it, and I don't want to talk too much about it because it just came out, but I'm sure a lot of people have heard already what's in the movie and the surprises and all that stuff. If you're a fan, check it out. So, a friend of mine is a writer. He's an author, and he's an interesting guy, but he talks a lot of shit. He's a former cop. He was a cop, I think, on 9/11. And he's a writer and an author now. He wrote a cookbook, but he writes. He considers himself an author and a writer. So he's got friends who are writers as well, and that's his circle. And one of them is like one of these snarky, like too smart movie review guys who writes for some fucking bullshit thing. And he shared this review of Ghostbusters that was so pretentious. Like it was just this pretentious, unfun, like dumb take on the movie. And I normally I don't do this, but I know this guy pretty well. And I responded to him sharing it. Now, obviously, I didn't know he was friends with this guy, and he's like in his little writers crew. But the guy even made a point of talking about how men were super upset about the reboot and da 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 da. And I'm like, no, everybody was upset because it sucked. It was a terrible movie. It was a dumb idea. It wasn't funny. It wasn't engaging. It didn't acknowledge the first two films. It turned off a lot of people because it didn't acknowledge the first two films. And, people just weren't really interested in that. They wanted to see the original people back. But he took a shot at that and all this other stuff. And I said something, and then a few other people said something, and then another author who's friends with them, chimed in, was like, "You don't know what you're talking about," and I had to cut this dude up, and I had to be like, I'm sorry that the movie that's the PG movie that mostly stars children wasn't as engaging as Parasite for you guys, but I don't understand why you would go into a PG movie with children thinking it's going to be a Kurosawa film. And I was like, you're very pretentious. And I was like, and then he was like, yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Because like once you start calling people on their bullshit, they have nowhere to go. But I saw an even worse take on Ghostbusters, which was a woman who's insisting that the fact that this new movie made the same amount of money opening weekend as the reboot did is proof that the reboot was failed because of sexism. Like, in other words, if you didn't like the Ghostbusters reboot, it's not because it was bad, it's because you're a sexist. And they both made similar money in opening weekends, but this one's considered a success and the other one was considered a failure. And people are like, bitch, it's COVID. That's why it didn't make more money. People still ain't going to the movies for the most part. So like 44 million during COVID is a big deal. Like, and they were like, and I think it might have been for a comic book. It wasn't comicbook.com, but it was one of those kind of places. But it's like, here's a woman who probably thought, I'm going to take this movie down because people didn't like the Kristen Wiig Ghostbusters and it was genius. And Melissa McCarthy was as funny as Bill Murray. It's like, no, motherfucker, the movie was terrible. It was flat. It had no life to it. People thought it sucked. People liked the movie Bridesmaids with these women 2 years previously, made fucking like $300 million, and everyone thought it was genius. And then the same people make Ghostbusters, and they think it sucks. Why? Because make Bridesmaids too. Don't make fucking Ghostbusters. I mean, like, but I'm just saying, it's this rush of I have to shut this down. I have to shut it down. Did you guys hear anything about Ghostbusters?
I mean, regardless of people shitting on it or not, mostly I've heard good things about it. And again, I said it last week. I'm not particularly excited to go see it, but after seeing some of the reviews, I guess I'm a little bit more excited. I don't know if I'm going to go to the theater or anything, but
yeah,
if it comes to streaming, like once it's on HBO Max or Netflix or whatever, I'll definitely check it out. Then if I like it, I'll probably end up owning it on physical media or whatever. But I don't want to go to the theater for it because I canceled my Regal membership. So
did you?
I mean, life is different now. You know what I mean? So it's like, I like going to the movies with people again. So it's not really worth it because I can only do that like,
right.
Twice a month maybe or something like that. So it's not really worth getting that. But I've heard all good things so far, man. I haven't heard too many people bitching about it. People are praising it.
Yeah, it's really good. What did you hear at B Show?
I've heard universally that if you're a fan of the original, that you'll fucking cry when you watch it because you'll be happy. I heard it's well written. I heard the acting is good. I heard it pays respect to the original while moving things along. I haven't heard any bad things about it other than people saying that people are sexist for liking this and not the other one that came out a few years ago.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the other one came out a few years ago, kind of sucked.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it just sucked. Maybe it had nothing to do with an all-female cast. Maybe it was just terrible.
And that was the thing too, is back then, even though people were saying it was sexist, universally with like average everyday people that saw that movie all agreed that the movie sucked.
Dude, I knew women that hated it. That I mean, it was a bad movie.
Yeah, I mean, I just
nothing about.
But this is the thing. But this is the thing. Fight Club, Breaking Bad, the new Ghostbusters, things people enjoy. It's like, oh, this dude got killed for this. I heard.
Yeah, this was the tweet.
Yeah, he locked. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, he locked it down. You can't.
The Wire, Sopranos.
Yeah, there's always going to be somebody there that's going to shit on it. You know what I mean? I mean, boy, does this guy have a scarf in his profile pic?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Wow. Oh my God. Like, what an unfun guy, honestly. Like, he just has an unfun.
He's a professor at Pepperdine. Okay.
Where's Pepperdine at?
I want to say
academic Scribbler. Wow, what a stupid take. Jesus.
Malibu.
Yeah, it's in Malibu.
Oh, Malibu.
Yeah.
There you go.
What a dumb take. What a dumb take. Hey, speaking of dumb takes, and unfortunately, I don't think this will be in the free version, but we have to talk about this Kid Rock song. We have to.
Somebody cue it up here.
Yeah. Unpacking the sexual narrative of the Ghostbusters movie. That was the. Yeah, you just had it.
Oh, I'm not ready for this.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
This is not the. Okay, hold on. Before I got to set this up for Shaheen because he hasn't seen it. So.
Oh, it's featuring Monster Truck. That sounds fantastic, dude.
Yeah, I didn't know what a monster truck was, but he looks like a guy who sweeps up the broken bottles at Lucky 13 after the fucking bar is closed. So quick backstory. Back in, I don't know, 98, I guess that was in. So I was full on out there between Tony Stark and Synthetic 16, my bands, trying to get ahead in the music business. Like literally, like having meetings and this guy was one of the biggest acts in the world. You couldn't put on MTV. You couldn't have a late night talk show. You couldn't have, he was huge. And this guy dominated popular culture. Dominated. Like, what year is this? 98?
Yeah, 98, 99.
98, 99. Like Woodstock 2000, he played in front of like a fucking 500,000 people and the crowd's all into it. This dude was on every MTV thing. He was always giving his opinion. Then he ended up banging Pam Anderson for a while. I mean, everybody was on this dude's dick, right? So, I mean, he was on The Simpsons. Like as a character, he was on The Simpsons. And, medium talent at best, right? But the guy,
you're being generous. I wouldn't even.
Well, but look how successful he was. How could
the sad thing though is, and I don't want to go off on this because this is too important, but he's actually a talented guitar player and he can sing a little bit, and he's inspired in some ways by like Bob Seger and other folky blues rock artists. But he chooses to be this, which to me infuriates me even more.
Man. The corniness kills all of the creativity and talent for me. Just.
Yeah,
overshadows everything.
But he was huge. Else. The guy was huge. Huge. Was on every talk show, on everything. He had his own midget, for Christ's sakes.
It's true.
I don't know what happened with this dude, but what should have happened was he should have just went away and started playing like carnivals and stuff, and just faded out. Be like, oh, remember when Kid Rock was popular? Like Papa Roach, But instead, he doubled down on a right-wing persona. Because I guess that was always his audience. And this is he's a 50-year-old guy. He's not a young guy, but this is how he's survived. This is how he's sort of he survived irrelevancy by taking on a political ideology, right? And again, you know, like I can't not recognize that the guy had a career. He's probably got Grammys. He's probably got VMAs. He's probably got all that shit. He's got money. He's not unpopular, but he's terrible, and he's always been terrible. And he's medium talent at best. He put out a video, I guess today, for a song that's so bad that people actually thought it was Weird Al doing Kid Rock. I'm not making this up. Like, people actually thought it was Weird Al. Now, this just came out a couple days ago. It's already got 2 million views. But now they got rid of the dislike count. No, but it doesn't have it because people are excited. It has it because of how bad it is. So, Bisho, can we play this? If we talk over it? Okay. Shaheen, you're not even prepared for how terrible this is.
I'm going to be as prepared as I'm physically going to be able to get.
All right, here we go. For the Patreon. Here we go.
And can you guys see the
Yeah, we're good to go.
Okay.
No, we just can't hear it.
We can't hear it, though.
Can't hear it?
Oh, that's not good.
No, we can't hear it.
Hang on, let me try this again.
Yeah. I mean,
Share
people
sound.
need to hear
Okay,
this.
here we go.
All right, here we go.
Let me know. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
So can you go back to the screen, Bisho? Can you share your screen or you can't share it?
It's not sharing now?
No, it's not, but I hear it.
Uh-oh. Hopefully YouTube didn't change their encoding and stuff. Here we go. Share sound. Bingo. Can you see it now?
Yeah, well, we're good to go. Here we go. Okay.
Okay.
Now, bring it. This is brand new Kid Rock. Okay, so we're gonna walk everybody through it.
And I can stop it too if we want to stop and do commentary.
So here it opens. It's Kid Rock in his glory, in his watching people talk about him on all these TV.
This is retro as fuck.
Fuck all you hoes.
Oh wow!
Fuck all you hoes.
Die, motherfucker.
So he's cursing.
Talking all that bullshit.
He's angry.
Sad already.
Kid Rock is angry. He's mad at you.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me.
Okay,
Oh my
stop it right there. Stop it right there. That sounds like a South Park voice.
It does.